And a very good evening and welcome to the Bedminster Township Committee, our regularly scheduled meeting for today, February 20th, 2018. It is 7:14. There's a traffic accident out on 206, so we're now all here. We have our entire committee with us tonight. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I get the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, sir. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News in Somerville and to the Burnsville News in Whippany, to all subscribers, and also posted here at the Municipal Building as of January 8th, 2018.
I'll ask you all to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have two sets of meeting minutes to review tonight, the February 5th regular agenda meeting and the February 5th executive session. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Permits and raffles. We have an on-premise raffle license for Somerset Hills Education Foundation, March 24th, 2018, 6 to 10 p.m. at the USCT Foundation over on Hamilton Farms, 1040 Pottersville Road. Nice to have Chef in Bedminster. Social welfare permit for the Hemophilia Association of New Jersey. And that's at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club on May 11th, 2018, 7 p.m. to midnight. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second. Again, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Public comments. We have new microphones tonight. If there's any member of the public that wishes to come up to one of the new microphones.
Actually, the portable microphone is the old one.
All right.
Have to save a little bit of money somewhere.
All right. Well, they could come up to the old microphone. Seeing none, we will move on to monthly subcommittee chairs. We'll start with Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any reports this time around.
Mr. Hickey.
Mayor, thank you. Good evening, and I have no updates at this time.
Mr. Jacobs.
Mayor, we'll talk about the farmers market at the farmers market section. There is something I do want to talk about, and I should mention it this the last meeting. On Tuesday, January 30th, I attended the Somerset County Preservation Plan public meeting. The county is redoing the preservation plan as affecting recreation, open space, agricultural, and historical resources in the county. And I went as sort of the liaison to the town environmental commission, and I walked in and was really not expecting a whole lot going on there. The freeholder room was standing remotely, and I look around, and there is Renee Moreski from the environmental commission. There is Mayor Holtaway and Diane Holtaway, and Brian and Janice Haggerty, and Sean Blinn, and Tim Walter from the Master Plan and the Planning Committee. So Bedminster was pretty well represented at this presentation, and the county's going to be working on it for, I guess, maybe another year or so, and they're just taking on. Meeting with different municipal representatives and also other interested organizations across the county about redoing and refocusing priorities on the county preservation. That's all I got.
Very good. Ms. Santini.
I'm just following up on what Larry said. I believe that the Historic Preservation, our commission sent in documents or asking for documents from all of them. So environmental, I think we sent in our documents as well. And then they'll touch base with us. We have liaison from Historic Preservation, and we'll go back and forth. So that's a little bit from Historic Preservation, and then we can talk about 24 when it comes up.
Very good. A phone call last week on the heels of the tragedy down in Florida from one of our members of the Board of Ed, who also sits on the Somerset Hills Board of Ed. And she was conveying concerns from the Somerset Hills Board and from the Bedminster Board of Ed about security at the high school and at the elementary school. I will say I had a conversation with our chief. I also had a conversation with Mayor Suey over in Bernardsville, who is not just a mayor, but he's a retired police captain, I think in one of the oranges, so he's a guy that knows a little bit about security. And I talked to Superintendent Wood at the high school, and I've had some email conversations with Superintendent Giordano. So I expect sometime within the next couple days, if not early next week, there may be also some discussions just to make sure that we're doing everything we need to do as a couple towns and having a couple schools. So
Chief Rock did meet with me today with a little bit of an update. Chief Valentine from Bernardsville over the weekend reached out to PPAC Gladstone, Far Hills, and Bedminster chiefs, asking just for some, I'll call it mutual aid. Just not for any particular concern, but just, you know, more eyes in town. So the other towns were asked if they have an officer who's free, do a swing through, you know, drive by the local schools of our own as well as in Bernardsville. So they have a little bit of a plan that they're trying to put in.
well, and it's more than just that. I can remember being briefed, I believe it was 2 years ago, Superintendent Wood will have maybe once or twice a year, she'll have a meeting with the sending district mayors. And I think it was 2 years ago maybe, they were talking about some upgrades that they had to the high school, panic buttons, surveillance. I know the elementary school has telephones in every room. And there had been drills at the time that Bedminster was included on, and some other entities were included on for response at the high school. I know we've had drills done here at the elementary school with the police, and I think it would be wrong to characterize Bedminster and the Somerset Hills as being unprepared. I think we're very well prepared. But I think when you have something like this, you just want to scratch your heads and make sure that all the checklists being looked at, and that maybe if there's an update, if we've learned something new from this, that we can update our preparedness. So I don't think we're in a bad position by any means. In fact, I think we're in a very good position. But I just want to make sure everyone knows that all the security, the police departments in all the towns and the schools are on top of this. So
There was an email blast this morning that came from Bernardsville on that issue, so.
So I can just report, since what happened in Florida last week, there's been a buzz of phone calls and coordination, so just so everybody knows. Administrator's report, Ms. Sullivan.
I'm going to give a little report on the website in a little bit.
Okay.
I don't have a written report, however, I did get a call from the governor's office today notifying us that we are now going to be receiving New Jersey DOT grant for River Road West on the amount of $205,000. So we should be getting that letter within the week. And also just to bring to your attention, if you didn't get to see it, we have John Mance has just installed the pay window, bulletproof pay window in our lobby. John, you want to give an update on where we are with that?
So we've got the window in at this point. I've got to put the counters in the committee office probably in the next couple days. The state we've run some wires for the state computers. They just need to terminate their ends and signage, and we should be ready to go within the middle of March. About the middle of March.
And as I said at the beginning, got a new sound system. Still not bulletproof yet.
It is not. I have it.
Okay.
It has to be installed.
All right, well, that's good. Things are moving along with that. That's
And
great.
The one other thing I should say is that we are going to update the panic buttons that we have throughout the building also.
Good. Good. Anything else, Judy?
That's it.
All right. Discussion introduced ordinances. We don't have any. Introduction of ordinances, we don't have any. But we do have a public hearing for an ordinance 2018-01. And this is an ordinance authorizing the appropriation of $10,000 for capital projects related to the shared municipal court. This ordinance authorizes appropriating of $10,000 for capital projects for the shared municipal court of Bedminster, PPAC Gladstone, and Bernardsville. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any member of the public that has a comment or question regarding ordinance 2018-01? Or member of the Township Committee that wishes to question or have some
Just
discussion?
a quick comment. This funding is Last time we did an ordinance like this was in 2016 when we started the shared court. Bernardsville joined us. That funding now has been depleted, so this is now to replenish that.
If no questions, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Just a point of order. So, Judy, from a scheduling perspective, we approve the ordinance, and then the other municipalities.
It's our ordinance, it's our money to spend. The Burnsville and P-PAC contribute towards the cost of the ordinance based on their caseload.
So we pass the ordinance first, then they
And
pass an
they
ordinance.
then contribute. So we're only putting in what our portion would be of that 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I think their contribution is via their budget, right? I don't know if they have a separate ordinance for it.
No, they do not. It's our ordinance and
Yeah.
they contribute towards it. Just like when we buy a fire truck with Far Hills, we do 80%, they do 20%. Same.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion for Resolution 2001?
I move ordinance 2018-01.
Second.
Roll call vote, Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs.
Aye.
Ms. Santucci.
Aye.
Mayor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have one resolution on the consent agenda. We have just a little shuffling of township committee assignments. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll
Mayor-
make that motion, Mayor.
Mayor, question?
Do you have a question? Sure.
Yes, for the Ag Committee, we had discussed last time having that follow the Environmental Committee. It doesn't matter to me either way, but Councilwoman Santucci is on there right now.
Oh, was there another change that I didn't know about?
We had talked about it, I
Yeah.
don't know if we had finalized it, I'm okay either way, whatever you,
No.
what's that? Same here.
Somehow we end up showing up to everything anyway.
That's
so-
very-
No, let me make sure I've got it right here.
Because now.
No, agricultural advisory is Ms. Santucci and Mr. Jacobs.
So we were talking about, since I'm on environmental with Mr. Jacobs, having that follow into Ag as well.
That's
I don't
fine.
think it-
Either way,
Yeah. Okay,
So what changed?
we're replacing Committeewoman Santucci with Committeeman Jacobs. Is that right?
Yeah.
For ag.
Ag.
What's that?
For ag.
you were left off Ag.
Agriculture.
No. No, I think I was staying on ag.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're
yeah.
not on there right
But
now.
right now, you're not on it,
Right,
Oh.
yeah.
with the new resolution.
I thought that was the change. I guess I was reading one line down.
No, and then the Fire Rescue SVAC was Santucci and Mr. Stevenson.
Right, I'm off of that, Doug is
Yeah.
on.
Yep. All right, so can we get the name change?
I can make a quick change with
Yeah.
that before you
Sign
sign.
it.
We'll
All
look
right.
at adjustment here.
Good catch. With that, can I get a motion for the consent agenda? At least we got it right.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
right. We do have two resolutions tonight on their own. Resolution 2018-028, that's appointing a public defender for the shared municipal court due to a resignation. And no, the resignation is not because the guy just didn't want to do the job anymore. He got a promotion. He's a judge now.
You did a good job for us.
He did do a good job for us. So we're very proud of now Judge Tadeo, and we now have to replace him. And so the resolution has Scott Mitzner of Mitzner & Mitzner coming in as our public defender. He had been our public defender for years in a previous iteration of the court. Any comments or questions? Now I'll take a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
This is a roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs.
Aye.
Ms. Santucci.
Aye.
Mayor Parker.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2018-030, authorizing the emergency temporary appropriations of the amount of $25,000 for buildings and grounds. Anything?
No.
Or no, out of building strengths?
Around this time of year, we're on a temporary
Oh,
budget. Around this time of year, we start to run out of money in certain categories.
I ran out of money.
John Mears ran out of money for the road. We have, due to snow and rain, a lot of salt and stone, and he has like $6,000 left, which doesn't buy a whole lot.
Okay.
So.
We might need more snow, or might need more salt.
Don't say.
So this doesn't increase anything, it
Nope.
just allots him.
Just
a
moves it around.
portion of his 2018 budget.
Any comments or questions? No, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Again, roll call vote, Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
Bill list. Can I get a motion to approve the bill list pending the approval of individual invoices? Anybody?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay.
Again, roll call vote, Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye. Are there any discussion items? Anybody want to bring up anything for discussion, new business? It's not already?
Well, we could talk about the fire code under old business.
Yes.
Right, it's under, yeah, it's under.
It's under old
It is
business.
under old business.
New business, something, oh, look at that, celebratory bubbles up there.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited, and Ms. Sullivan's going to talk
A
us
little quickie here.
through our hopefully soon-be new website,
The,
which for those of you watching on the video, you're going to have to trust us. We'll all be looking in this direction, in the dark.
Go live date is proposed for this Friday. Now, under the screen is my screen, which has a lot of buttons and things along the top that allow me to make all the adjustments to the screen, so, you know, this is really not, the size is incorrect for normal people looking at it. You'll see, we have pictures up here that we have updated, hike and bike trail. These can be changed. It's the Pottersville Church. That's Puckaman. That's the view from the top of the hills.
USCT.
That's the USCT. So these can be, and that's a pasture somewhere. These can be changed for the season or anything special, or if you have something you like. We reached out to Frank Banch for some of these photos today. He has quite an inventory that he put together for the master plan, so. Over here on the left-hand side are upcoming events that you can click on. For example, here's our meeting tonight, and it'll come up with the calendar that you can then hit the export event, and it'll go right into your Outlook calendar, if that's what you want to do.
You're going to have the ability to have the agenda uploaded to that?
So this is called the menu, and normally when you look at your normal screen at home, this comes down about halfway, which was a feature that Mr. Hickey and Mr. Jacobs requested. So, for example, meeting agendas, you can click on meeting agendas. Here's our agenda this evening is here. You could just click down. There's the meeting agenda. For example, the ordinance that we just approved, it is linked. You can click on it, and takes a second. And come on.
You've been visited by the demo gods, Judy, you tempted fate.
It's coming. It's still coming. It's thinking.
There you go. There you go.
So that's not it.
Now you have to accept it.
There
There it is, yeah.
So, our ordinances for tonight or on any of the agendas, whoops, I put too far. Ah. Anyway, We just had its website under construction. We're trying to go through and we've been checking everything, but we're adding things. We put in some new pictures. These are some of our basketball. We're doing the shooting contest, so these guys are moving on to the next level, and this is just a picture of our new sound system here in the meeting room. For example, under the mega menu, you can see the different things. Under town hall, you can do, for example, the mayor and township committee. It has each of you listed with your contact, email, and then we threw up Mr. Hickey's picture. Okay. So hope to have this on each of the pages for each of the committees, you know, environmental, land use board. The land use board, you can go on, you can click on minutes. You'll see all the minutes are listed here. This is all the January minutes for the township committee, budget work session, township committee meetings going back the end of 2017. So they'll all be there. Same thing with municipal codes. We'll have resolutions and
Julie,
ordinances there.
I'm sorry, can you go over to I want to, just to see what,
So I want to, this would be things that you might want to fill out an OPA request. You might want to get a building permit. You might need a dog license. You might want voter registration. So those will all be linked to dog license registration, information, then here's the dog license application that you could just click and fill out and send in.
on the last page, the document e-request, is that kind of the reverse? So when it says I want to, it says document e-notifications, what is that for?
Right, so that's where you can sign up here
To be a subscriber?
to be a subscriber and information sign up. We don't have everything quite linked yet with the information, but that's where you will sign up that you want ordinances, or you want minutes, or you want agendas. We'll have,
I think that's going to be popular.
so we're not there on every page. Actually, we're working on these three right now. So we haven't gotten police. Sergeant Bernardo is going to be working on that with the police department, and then we have fire and rescue. But I do believe, like, you can click on Far Hills Bedminster, it'll automatically links to their website.
That looks really good.
So, we're taking baby steps. It's exciting. We're learning. We have a lot more ability to put a lot of information on this website than we could with our other website. We did change, we got Bedminster Township. It was originally Township of Bedminster. And then down the bottom, the same thing. And you also have links to our Facebook page. This is let's see, which one is it? This is Mixel. This is if you want to email us. It should go right to an email to us here, which goes to info@bedminster.us, which comes right to us. So info@bedminster.us, it comes to us here with your question or issue or problem.
And then the other is the YouTube page for seeing these exciting meetings?
Yeah, that's,
All right.
so that's where we are. Any questions?
So, Judy, so for example, if you're someone looking to find the NRI, the Natural Resource Inventory, which used to be up on environmental, or actually maybe it could be accessed through a different link now?
Okay, so some of the links under the various groups, like these need to be updated. This still has 2017 information. The natural resource inventory list is there, but I don't know that the link, I can click on it. It's a scoping checklist. So yeah, so it's currently not linked. We have to fix that, but we will have that as part of the pay.
And so far, where do we stand with getting participation from BHHC or any of the other
Yeah, I'd love to have a
townships,
page.
but-
I'd love to have a page for BHHC. I mean, we have them, Dempster Hills Housing, but it's just a list of their board members. You know, I don't have anything like about their inventory or anything like that.
Because Steve and I have both been talking at our BHHC meetings about the fact that this was coming down the pike and to be prepared, that we had an opportunity to facilitate listings, criteria, both for taking advantage of affordable housing opportunities, as well as the participation with BHHC on marketing. So if we need to raise that at the next meeting, we can certainly do so.
Well, what a tremendous undertaking.
So, we're not quite there, but it will go live Friday. It will be still under construction for a bit while we're linking everything up. I didn't want to, if I let it go too much longer, I'll have to pay for our current website and our new website both, which I'm trying to avoid. So that's why we picked this
So,
before the end of.
Judy, just once again, for memory purposes, how much did this cost us?
The cost for this was $3,000.
$3,000.
And that's for the initial, for 2018, and then there will be an annual fee of $1,200 after that.
That is just
And for this level
fantastic,
is,
fantastic
that you don't
prices.
hear that.
As Colin and I, attested to, my law firm has been looking at and making these changes, and it's costing multiples of that.
Bazillions, yeah.
And what we got for this is truly amazing.
And to your point, Larry, the choice of this platform, and hats off to Ms. Sullivan, you're seeing the flexibility in terms of how you can present the data, how you can change the data, and that really is key. If you get the wrong platform, you can really go down the wrong road. And you can see now that everything looks to be accessible within a click or two, because you don't want to hide the information from the user who's trying to get to a certain piece of information quickly and then move on.
And I haven't checked it, but one of the girls in the office did today. I mean, go on your phone, it does come up.
That's great.
What's it called, mobile?
Yeah, you have mobile access,
Mobile
obviously.
access.
Right. And the other thing, Judy, by the way, is, and I want to thank you and Rob and everybody else who's participated, because it's hard enough to do this on a greenfield basis when you're designing a website from scratch, getting all the links to work and the buttons to work and all that kind of stuff. But you had doubly hard task of actually having to move an entire website that's functioning into a new platform. So hats off. This is very hard and tedious work to do, and
Well,
I know
we're not
you've done a
there
lot.
yet, but,
But you've gotten us there.
I have to say, like, it started out with one or two staff members kind of got how to do it. Now then everybody's looking over your shoulder, oh, how do you do that? So they're trying to learn, okay, I'll post my own agenda, I'll post my own minutes, and then we filter it through. So it's exciting.
It's a great resource.
And this is so much more fun.
This is a great resource for everybody.
I mean, just when we talk, whether it's Fall Fest or any other community events, it really gets the opportunity to just highlight it right on,
Yeah, so
right on the first
all it
page.
really takes, like these little headlines, I think we can have up to 7 different things, like scroll, like right now there's only 2, so they're not scrolling, but they would scroll. You can time it. So if you have anything going on that you say, hey, we reached out to Frank Banish for photos. I reached out to Martin Johansson for photos of the dog park, which I know he's sending me stuff. I reached out to you today, where's pictures from the reorg meeting? I mean, we can throw them up really easy. Photos speak a lot, get a great response, so.
And as you're keeping it fresh, that's keeping the eyeballs attracted and giving people a reason to come back to the website and use it as a resource, which is terrific.
No, a tremendous undertaking. It's improved customer service for the folks that visit our website, for the folks that are in town.
Things at the top, there's up here, you can click on language,
Wow.
and it will convert it to any language.
Really? Go ahead. How are we on Tagalog?
How about Cantonese?
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, maybe
Oh, if you got greedy, Judy.
I don't know.
We get it to Mandarin, maybe I'll have my daughter translate it.
Oh, look at that.
That's great.
There you go.
Very cool.
And then the other thing that's available, everything, every picture, we have to, like you'll see, view of Village of Pluckerman, we have to have it labeled so that someone, it's ADA compliant. So someone who is blind and is using a reader or is just, has bad eyesight and it's a hard time, they have a special mouse that will read it to them. Which is, I didn't realize that if we're not ADA compliant, we can be sued. So our new provider told us, you know, this is what we need to do. The other thing that's up in the top is a search button. So you can click in this box and search for dog license or search for Oprah form, and it'll take you there.
So this is bringing us to a new level of transparency and access, which used to be something that we hear about every year, usually in the fall. But look, this is for a great price, a great value, and a significantly improved access and transparency for the folks in town and the folks out of town that want to learn about what Bedminster's all about. So a tremendous undertaking, and thank you and everyone on the staff that helped participate. There's going to be bumps in the road as it goes on, but
if you see
it's great.
something, say something.
Yep.
I mean, you know, we're trying to catch all the bumps.
And to some extent, you know, you talk about the, Steve, you're talking about the transparency issue. One of the things when Colin and I were meeting with Judy is, this is also an opportunity to alleviate some of the pressures of the Oprah requests that the administrative staff deals with, because some of the information we can just
It's
place
right there.
here, and people can just mine the website rather than having
Correct.
to go through Judy and deal with all those.
And it's on our website. We can just say it's on our website
Yeah.
and kind of point them. So.
And just a quick little anecdote. This was a cold call.
Yeah.
One of the rare ones that
Yeah.
Judy actually decided to engage, and
Right.
$3,000. This is what a great
I get so
deal.
many calls, people selling me something, especially the end of the year when they know maybe I have leftover money in the budget. And so the staff knows, and John goes through it even more than I do with those phone calls, and the staff is directed, take a message, have them send an email. You don't hang up on them, but you know, she's in a meeting.
Don't
send an
call us,
email.
we'll call you.
Well, this one, I answered the phone, and he asked for me, and I said it was me, and he went into a spiel, and I don't know, just caught my interest, and we had a conversation, and here we are, so, I don't know.
$3,000 well spent.
Wow.
Well done.
Yes.
Okay, that's my spiel.
All righty. Well, let's move on to old business. I'll let Judy get back to her seat. Anything new on 130 Hillside Avenue?
Met with the assessor today. I only had one of these. This is how the property might be divided in between two potential neighbors.
The blue and the
assessor
green?
is working up the fair market value. He isn't quite there yet. We hope to have something soon, and then we'll work with Mr. Gallardo to what the next step would be. So,
All right.
Thank you.
everybody wanted to see it, but that's what we'll work
So,
on.
very good.
That's what it is.
Moving along. Ms. Santucci, Pony Farm.
Farm Mayor, John Mance was nice enough to, on his day off yesterday, meet us over at the Pony Farm. And Colin was nice enough to arrange with Kevin Mannion to take a walk through. And Kevin's going to provide an assessment. Kevin's going to provide us with an assessment of what may need to be done, what can be done, just so we have a better idea financially moving forward, so we can make a decision where to go. But it was a good meeting. Thank you, John, for doing that.
Thank you, John.
In the snow, so we appreciate that.
Very good. Farmers Market. Mr. Jacobs?
So the update on the farmer's market is that we had a series of meetings, and we had prioritized the location for the farmer's market to be first priority, or the first location of preference would have been along Hills Drive. Attorney Velardo reached out to the owners of the property through the property management firm and got an answer that indicated we're not really interested. And so our fallback location is River Road Park, and the consensus from the Farmers Market Committee was to look at the first gravel drive as you pull into River Road Park, not as preferable location as Hills Drive, but certainly close to the population center in town. And River Road always has a constant flow of folks coming in and out on Saturdays, going to different sporting events. So it's a second choice, but it's a pretty good second choice, and I don't know that there is any other viable third or fourth choice that we're looking at. The takeaway from the farmers market, at least my takeaway, was that I would come back to the Township Committee and make sure that the Township Committee was supportive of that location. The timing for the farmers market would be running from early June through September, and that would be every Saturday. So if I could just take a quick break from that presentation to do an informal poll of the TC to see if that meets with support and endorsement from the township.
Like you said, that's a good second choice.
That actually provides, I know that there were some members of the committee, Farmers Market Committee, that had some interesting ideas, and it
Yes.
provides more flexibility.
Yes.
Some had an idea of a petting zoo at some point in time, or at least having animals there. You really couldn't do that at the first location. You could possibly,
You could, with
you know.
complications that come with
Yeah.
having animals, but
So there's a little more flexibility at that second location, so, plus it's ours.
plus it's ours, and we control it, so the administrative elements of having the Farmers Market Committee organize and administer.
I did reach out to
on the
our risk manager on that note today, just to let them know of the update, and they said it would pretty much be run just like Fall Fest with the forms and hold harmless and certificates of insurance that we require. The amounts shouldn't really change. I know Mr. Blardo was working on that, so.
Right, John actually did prepare a
Yes, and
license agreement, is that what we're calling it?
I don't know if we're calling it a license agreement, but rules and regulations, there's a hold harmless within that, and I'm waiting to receive from Judy the insurance form,
Yeah, I just got that today from Hallie. so
because that'll be part of the packet that goes out to the vendors.
And in discussions with the farmers who are participating on the committee, I think Stacy and I have learned that they already have the insurance. So this is simply just getting a certificate of insurance naming the town as an insured, that when they're out participating at other farmers market or they are selling food, they already have the insurance policy in place. So this is for the farmers and the vendors. It's not a big lift to provide that type of.
I think they'll find that it's very simple and very streamlined.
And we always talked at the committee that the first focus and priority is on Bedminster farmers and Bedminster producers, and then quickly circles coming out from Bedminster, so looking at the surrounding towns, looking at Somerset County, and then Somerset and Hunterdon and Morris, and expanding out. Once again, we've got a really great group that is focused, and I think we're probably looking about sending out 20 to 30 invites for farmers and other vendors who are agricultural based and participate in farmers markets or are interested and willing to do so. So we think we're going to have a good showing, and we'll continue to update the TC as.
And there's no fee to participate, right?
We are not. It was just we discussed. Stacy was at the meeting we were at.
Yeah.
It was an active discussion about the benefits of having a fee, nominal or not. And then at the last meeting, the consensus was no fee. Let's get it started for this year. Let's bring the vendors and the farmers in. Let's see how it takes off, and we can always look at that in ensuing years.
It's gonna look great on the website.
Yeah.
It'll look great on that website.
It'll kind of be timing wise too. It's gonna be really, a great thing to put
Can
on.
add that in, yeah.
All the participants, and then maybe links to their different websites.
Oh, that would be great, sure.
So it'll be interactive. Any special events that are held that's also a very good reason to have it on our property, because any special events, we don't have to go through the permission process as much as, we would have to if we had it on the other property.
Right.
What's the potential first date?
It's that first weekend in June.
I think it's June 2nd,
June 2nd.
which is Saturday.
And what Stacy and I have learned is that that's really the first time that you actually see local produce coming out. So if you go to farmers markets that are local and they're before that time period, it's not local produce. There's a lot you can learn from your farmers, John.
An enthusiastic group.
Come from a farming family, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
You know the man's farmer.
Well,
Can Stacy report back that there's
I think it's-
consensus? Because Commitment Stevenson was notably quiet back there.
That's a great idea. I think you guys done a great job putting it together, and I think the location is excellent. I think the folks that are going to go to location 1 can easily just walk down Robertson and over the little bridge, and they're right there. So I think it's a great landing spot, and kudos to you guys for putting it together. I'm looking forward to it.
Just more exercise, a little bit more.
A little more, it's a short bike ride.
The dogs will love it, right?
The dogs will love it.
Oh, yes, and I meant to congratulate Hunter Jacobs in being the dog of the week.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, the Bedminster Pat has deigned
Yeah.
to give Hunter the Pet of the Week. Yes, it was very,
I missed that.
yeah.
Jay, you guys are missing out. You need to be having a pet of the week.
Is it the photo I took when it was a puppy?
Yes.
Really?
That's what years over.
Oh my gosh. It was like 10 years ago.
Well, I think another advantage to that site, certainly the site 1 had some great advantages, but you're right in 206, 202, 206, you have some wonderful opportunities for marketing, whether there's a big truck that could be like a billboard, but you could put things on the flyovers, and I think you'll be able to get a lot of folks off the highway knowing exactly where it is. So I think it's a great opportunity.
And that's actually something that came up at the meeting, which is if we were able to go to Hills Drive, we would not necessarily need the emphasis on marketing, but going to River Road Park, it does put a little more emphasis making sure that it's out there, whether it's signage or Jake's paper, giving us a little publicity, or the website. So that may be the next focus on the committee is
We could,
the marketing.
as we've done with Fall Fest, we've hung banners on the bridge.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I think
Plus there's
you've got a good
lakes,
opportunity there.
River Road Park. So what were you gonna, how would we have, deemed it? If it was Hills Drive, you'd have to kind of, give it a little bit of a name.
That's
So
right.
now it already has signage, River Road Park. So kind of, I think
I
it's
still
more
think you
natural
can
fit.
promote it through the school also, through their homework hotline.
Yeah, the Friday folder.
Friday folder,
folders.
that actually will probably be a discussion point at this week's EC meeting, so that the farmers market, so Renee and I will give a little presentation at EC, and then there's a liaison on the Environmental Commission who goes back to the school and PTO, and so that we'll be using all those opportunities. Also through the Hills Associations, we'll be promoting through there as well.
Very good. I think move forward. I think it's a very exciting opportunity. All right, fire prevention ordinance. Anything new?
So we had a meeting with Mr. Anderson and Janine, and we cleaned up some of the information. John, thank you for your comments. We got a red line from from John on the ordinance. A couple of very minor things that we're asking to be cleaned up so that we can bring it back to you and actually get this thing introduced maybe next meeting. Some of the things that we just wanted to flush out would just be a little bit more specific on who can be exempt. So we're going to be more specific on that, and I think it's in a position for us to take a good look at it and hopefully, get it approved next meeting.
Very good. Which brings us to public comments. Is there a member of the public that wishes to be heard on anything not discussed tonight, or anything? I guess seeing none. We do have an executive session tonight, but I believe there's anything that will likely come out of executive session to be voted on. And does anybody, Township Committee comments? We'll start with Mr. Stevenson.
I have one, and I'll put you on the spot. If you recall last year for Spring Fling, we donated a basket of Shop Bedminster. It was a huge hit, and the request is coming back to us whether the committee would like to do something similar to last year, and so I'll get with each of you afterwards, but I won't get your commits on the record.
That sounds like a threat.
I'll be paying each of you a visit later. But no, think about what we want to do for that. I think it was a real nice gesture, and it was a huge hit, I know, even at the event, so everybody was trying to win our basket. If you recall, last year we did a little taste of Bedminster and had some gift cards from the various restaurants who participated in the program.
Certificates for farmers market.
Right.
Well, we can think about what we might want to do, but if we're inclined to do something similar, I'll head it up and take care of it, but let me know what you want to do.
Great.
Very good. Mr. Hickey?
No comments, Mayor, thank you.
Mr. Jacobs?
No comments, Mayor.
Ms. Tucci?
No comment, other to kind of talk about what you talked about earlier, just offering our support to the school in Florida. I'm glad that you talked about it earlier, schools reaching out and the police being involved, and it comes back to you see something, say something. If you see somebody that needs help, or just to kind of be aware. I think that our community is very aware of that and really does try to help. There's a lot of sources for help if anybody needs it, and just thinking about that.
Just to dovetail on that, the school today was asking the students to actually write letters to the students down there, just as kind of help ease a bit of the pain. And I thought that was a great idea, and I know that the kids are going to do it, so I think that's terrific.
There's so many resources that I think just people aren't, don't want to talk about it. I know at the county level we're talking about stigma-free, and just people that aren't used to asking for help. So I think it's great that you reached out and you're talking about it. And that's it, Mayor.
On a happier note, I'll extend congratulations. We have a soon-to-be inducted member of the New Jersey Hall of Fame within our town, and that would be Mr. Forbes, Steve Forbes, over on Burnt Mills Road. So we tip our hat to him, and happy to have him represent Bedminster and New Jersey. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Supposedly you can hear better out the back. You see those little circles up there? Those are your speakers, rather than these big ones up here.
There are, when you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers back here, and if you sit back here, it's really nice.
Hello?
You don't have to be that close.
When I was walking in late, you could
hear it very well.
definitely hear it right out there.
And I got to tell you, listening to the recordings on a website in the old system, where it would cut out, you couldn't hear anybody speaking, and it's just impossible to
That's
hear.
why it was set up that way.
Well, I mean, it was like,
These are not Bedminster colors. Can we bring them back?
And the old equipment, because it was bought with public funds above a certain number, we have to actually put it
For sale.
So we're going to do gov bids, gov deals.
Gov deals.
Another.
Auction it off to the person that has the highest by Bedminster count.
Mr. Payne?
Yeah, whoever gets the most points on that. All right, let's hit the recording.
So Bernie would have a microphone all the time.
That'd be great. All right, are we back?
We're on.
Oh, my. All right, it is 6 minutes after 10. We are out of executive session. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.
So we're Monday. Monday?